evening, good evening. I am still Blue Mooney, fantasy writer and shy magical library in human skin. Good noon to you, Ashley. So lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome. Oh, goodness me. I know this is unsurprising coming from me, but I am so tired. So very tired tonight. And look, Blue is still working on an old story. Oh, goodness me, I used to think, and still sometimes, think, when I know by now I should not think this, that, going back and working on an old story is somehow easier than writing a new one from scratch. I am not sure either is easier than the other, because this is definitely not easy. I mean, if going back and reworking an old story was easy, I'd be able to rework the first novel I ever wrote, A Circle Closes, and then I would have, a 450,000 word story to share with you right off the bat. And we all know that's not happening. Oh dear. No, it is actually... Even if it's not as hard as writing from scratch, it's pretty dang close. Pretty dang close. Unless, you were born a phenomenal writer and there's actually not much to do to make it better. Which is definitely not the case for Blue. Blue was not born very, very good at writing. Blue has practiced for a very, very, very long time. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, I actually did, for the first time in almost 2 months, do just a little bit of work on my main magical project today. I just, I was getting nowhere sort of where I was up to, which is quite near the end. And I kept wanting to just press on and finish it, but I just couldn't get myself in the mindset. So I've done what I keep telling myself I shouldn't do and jumped back to the beginning. The aim is, not to edit too much and get hung up on things, but just to sort of bolt through as best I can and get it, in the best possible reading condition as possible. There are a few, changes, adjustments, rearrangements that do have to be made. Did I say additions? Additions too. It's long enough already, Blue. Why do you need more additions? Because it'll make it better. So yeah, that'll probably hold me up a little while once I get to the end of part 2 and into part 3. But I'm hoping at least, going through part 1 and most of part 2, technically shouldn't take me more than a week, I say with such hope, assuming I can find more time and energy to do it. What are you doing, background music? You're the opening background music. Thank you, you are lovely. You are lovely, but it's time for this song to shine. Quietly. Quiet background music while we're working. But oh yes, if anyone is not keen on the volume level for the music, whether you want it softer or louder, or if you don't want the music and you want rain, or if you have any thoughts on what you'd like as background sounds while we're working on things, let me know and we can experiment. We can have some fun one stream, messing around and figuring out the best background sounds and the best volumes for everything. It was nice working on my main magical project again. Thankfully the prologue is very short, so it didn't take me too long to whip through that, although I did get really hung up on a particular paragraph. I was probably stuck on it for at least half an hour, which is not good. It's not good. If I got stuck on every paragraph for half an hour, I would definitely never finish the book. But at least it was just one paragraph. And in chapter 1, I managed to get a small amount of feedback, I think a couple of months ago now. And I still remember a few of the suggestions without going back and scouring Discord for them. But yes, I just thought I would attempt to make one of those little changes there, and I think it works. It was just a sort of suggestion of a way to show off a prominent characteristic of this character right off the bat. So it was a good suggestion, and hopefully I've done it justice. Hopefully. Oh dear. So, yes, this story. I'm not expecting to finish fixing it up tonight. And if we don't finish it, I'll have to make the decision at the end whether to do another streaming session on it or to just try to finish whipping it into shape on my own. But we can decide that later. Oh dear. So I think when I started trying to actually edit it last week after getting it all typed up, I think I was getting a bit hung up on trying to keep it as close to the original as possible when there's really no need for that. I think it's probably better to just take each paragraph, each sentence, each word if necessary, and just rewrite, make it better. Don't worry about keeping it if it's not good. Just, I should probably try to rewrite on a broader level than the word level, shouldn't we? I mean, we can change words. Can do that. That's a good thing we can do. But yeah, if we just try to look at each paragraph as a whole and figure out the best way to convey it while, making it sound good and read like an actual story. It's like I'm a real writer. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. As I said, I'm tired. And actually my feet really hurt. My feet really hurt. I did do a fair amount of walking today, but I don't think that amount of walking should lead to feet hurting quite this much. Lou is probably just pathetic. But at least I'm sitting down, so I shouldn't be complaining about the feet too much. Oh dear. Also, I've been staring at this question mark for a little while, wondering whether we should try to make the swap to first person. At this point, I won't. Just thinking, all the ones I'm writing recently, all the short stories I'm writing recently are first person, so maybe, and I think most of the older ones I did are third person, so maybe just keep the third person for the older ones, just as maybe another thing to distinguish them. Just to distinguish them from the newer ones. I mean, there may be one or two of the older ones in first person, but I can't actually remember. But, yeah. And I have been told that my voice, creation of voice in third person is pretty good. I'm not sure I'll be able to pull it off in a shorty story like this, but, we can give it a go. Ooh, judging from what was done last week, sticking to the third person would likely be better. Thank you. That does make me feel better. It's, will hopefully make things slightly easier for me as well. But yes, thank you. Oh dear. Also, I don't want this to be just nice one. I want there to be a sort of another, a posh term that aristocratic gentlemen might call each other. I mean, we're already using chap down here somewhere. Old chap. Maybe another one. Just go with man for now. But we'll probably pick something different soon. My mind just keeps trying to go to the terms that Gansey's schoolmates call him in the Raven Boys series, but I can't. None of them come to mind. Just them chanting his name. It just happens to be Dick, Dick, Dick. Well, Richard, but that's not fun to chant, is it? I can't remember anything else they called him. I'll just go keep it as man for now, and figure out something later, maybe. So I should try not to look at this, given this is, the only one we managed to edit last week. Let's go here. How was I thinking? What was I thinking? We'd done a few rearrangements here, didn't we? Oh, as a warning in advance, this may turn out to be a slightly quieter stream than normal. Those are probably famous last words. I'll do my best to keep up with reading chat. But there'll be a lot of humming and ah-ing and ing. That's just humming again, isn't it? Lots of writing, thinky, thoughtful noises, but probably not. I'll probably still try to talk us through it. We'll just see how it goes, won't we? Let's go. But yes, again, not expecting to finish, mostly because I should, again, famous last words, probably try to keep this a shorter stream than normal. Given my tiredness levels. I was just dropping off all evening with the small one. And dropping off as I'm trying to put her to sleep. I was dropping off earlier when we were watching some Bluey together. It's just so tired. Okay, sorry. Tangenting. Let's get some work done. An even heartier thunk of Melton Ball raised a cheer. I didn't say. I was thinking raised another cheer, but we didn't say anything about a cheer here. I suppose people might not have. They've already shouted praise. Okay, they don't need to cheer. We're good. An even heartier thunk of mallet on ball raised a cheer. Okay, so I need to, what is it? In polo, how do they... Well, that's the wrong one. Sorry, I'm just looking for... Here we are. How to score a goal in polo. Oh, Mickey, hi! So lovely to see you. Oh, here it is. Scoring is simple in polo, and a point known as a goal is scored when the ball is hit into the goal. Thank you for that. There are goals in polo. Just wanted to double check. Just double checking. Oh, dear. Okay, how are we gonna phrase this? Okay, I had been talking about feeling that Will has a bit of a mathematical mind for whatever reason, so we'll try to find ways to get that in, but I think even talking about a pleasing arc. I mean, possibly we could even throw, resembling a bell curve in there just to sort of get the mathematical thoughts in there. I mean, I know it's not his direct thoughts, but I like to try to get just the voice and the prose as close to the point of view as possible. I know there's a correct term for that, but I can never remember proper terms for the different kinds of third person and such. I think I mostly just call it close third. I think that's a term, but I generally just say I like to sit on the protagonist's shoulder and, hear their thoughts, sort of thing. Oh dear. So I guess that third person is sort of like almost them telling the story. It's as though their own mind and personality were providing the prose, but it's not them. That's weird. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you for the lovely like. So kind of you. Thank you so much. Not sure I've done anything to deserve it at this point, but the sentiment is very, very much appreciated. Oh, an even heartier thunk of mallet on ball raised a cheer. Well, if he's squinting to see who scored, how would he even really see the ball in the arc? I suppose everyone's backs could be turned. Oh dear. Thinky thoughts. Maybe I should just not worry about that and hope nobody notices. No, that's a bad mindset. Bad mindset, Blue. Bad Blue. Don't do that. If you notice a hole, other people will notice it too. An even heartier thunk of mallet on ball raised a cheer. colour are polo balls? Let's have a look. Not water polo balls. What did I say? Horse polo. Horse polo ball colours. Oh, they seem to be predominantly white. Predominantly white. I was going to just... If he's quite ill as well from the tropical infection he's got, tropical virus. Sounds a bit weird calling it a tropical virus, doesn't it? It's a virus that he caught while in the tropics. I suppose just saying tropical makes things sound a little odd in my ears. I'm not sure. I still might keep it here because I think possibly they would say that, but you know the Polo brand of clothes. I used to think as a kid that it was US Polos. Yeah, I think I know the brand. I think one of my elementary school teachers used to wear those shirts all the time, and I think it took me all year to even just figure out what the little stitched emblem was. Assuming I'm thinking of the correct thing. But yes, if he's ill, his vision might have been affected a bit as well. So possibly we should mention that. Possibly we should mention that just so we know from the earliest point possible that his health isn't too great. His diminished vision, his diminished eyesight might sound better. Just tracing. Pleasing. We'll get to the pleasing arc in a sec. Those squinches, diminished eyesight, just tracing a blur of white. Sail. There. No, wrong button. Into the goal. Will squinted his diminished eyesight, just tracing a blur of white as it sailed into the goal. I don't think sailed into, just sailed through the goalposts. That sounds a little better. Goalposts, one word. You're not going to yell at me too badly? Thank you, ProWritingAid, for your understanding. It is much appreciated. Okay. Maybe just mention something that, you know, he got some sort of, you know, small pleasure from the nice arc through the air, almost like a bell curve. Just, you know, cute little mathsy things makes him happy. I don't know why I want this so badly for him. It just seems to work. And I guess it'll just... In the original version, doesn't seem to have very much personality, does he? So it just somehow latched onto this to just give him a little bit of personality in the, you know... How many words does this have? At the moment it's... Oh, this is including all the random work and the random words at the beginning too, but we're at 1,116 words. So it's not very much time to give a character much personality, but we still got to do it. Let's make him likable. And I think just, you know, having cute little mathsy like things please him is very sweet. I think it's sweet. I think it'll work. I should stop trying to defend my maths liking protagonist decision. He likes maths, makes him happy. This is cute, says Blue. And apparently when Blue is writing, what Blue says goes. It's an amazing thing. And when you write your own stories, you're in charge. I love it. Well, you're in charge unless you're trying to write for traditional publishing houses, in which case they are in charge. And yeah. Blue's probably not going to give that a go anytime soon. Blue does not like the idea of anyone micromanaging her stories. In fact, it makes Blue feel a little sick. So I think at this point the only way Blue would ever get traditionally published was if she became successful independently and traditional publishers all suddenly wanted a piece of Blue. And that is highly unlikely. However, I'm tangenting. Stop tangenting. Work. Sorry. Little squinted his diminished eyesight, just tracing a blur of white as it sailed through the goalposts. How do we convey his happiness? You know, it's not any sort of massive happiness. It's just, you know, sweet little uplifting feeling in his chest, or just... What's the term? You know, things like feeling the happy bubbles rising in you. Should we just stick with happy bubbles for now? I don't know. I don't know if Will is much of a happy bubbles sort of person. What is that feeling? It's well, maybe just instead of describing, you know, a really deep sort of physical reaction, just how felt his general down in the dump sort of feelings lift slightly, and less with the game and more with the pleasing arc into the goal. I don't know, I'm probably getting way too hung up on this, but I want it, so... One word? Nope, apparently not. Probably find somewhere else later on to just give a few mathsy sort of connotations, I guess. Oh dear. That also sort of works as well, like he's paying more attention to the arc of the ball as opposed to who actually scored. And he does like playing polo, but possibly he prefers the you know, the maths behind it, the angles, the statistics, all of that. Possibly there should be a mention of that somewhere. Where's the... Does Will at one point say he'd be playing again soon? Possibly somewhere around here. And then, you know, back to lecturing on I'll think of a better way to say it. I'm just trying to remind myself. With bad notes. Yeah, that's another way to toss it in there. I definitely did not mean angels, if that's what you were trying to tell me. Oh dear, angels. I'm reading those the Susan E books. They came out so long ago now, and I've had them on my shelf for so long. Angels, yes. And I've the Penryn and the End of Days books. I've had them on my shelf for so long, but I hadn't picked them up yet. And yeah, I read the first one reasonably quickly not so long ago, and I've just started reading the second one. And you know, very fast-paced, quite fun. Quite a few things I don't really agree with as a writer for various reasons, but, you know, good reads, I think. Solid, entertaining reads. Oh dear. Trajectory. Forgot to check who scored. Forgot to process. Process. That sounds more like a word for Will. Well, maybe not say his armchair on the patio is too far away to see now that we know he's got the diminished eyesight. So maybe let's put him on the armchair up here. An even heartier thunk of mallet on ball raised a cheer. From his armchair on the patio, Will squinted. Sentence length. I don't think you should finish with just squinted. I suppose that's quite a long sentence following there, so it should be fine. Here's another really long one. Dear. Probably try to get a few shorter sentences in there, but actually, shorter sentences work really well with Kaz in my main magical project. I think I'll still definitely scatter them throughout where they work, but I think Will in general, when we're with Will, I think the sentences could be a bit longer and more complicated. Not so complicated that they're hard to read, but again, I try to switch it up depending on who is my main character at the time, and make it so, you know, even if we're not reading their direct thoughts or their dialogue, you still know exactly who you're with. And I know that's more important with novels when you occasionally change points of view, but still, I think it also helps to develop a stronger voice here. I dare not say strong. I don't know how strong this voice is going to turn out in the end, but we'll see how we go. I say that a lot, don't I? There's a lot of things that I say a lot. There are also many things that I never say, and you'll never know what they are because I never say them. Okay. Maybe we should have some dialogue. Just realizing. Did want him to. I was just thinking whether to have him try to shout something out. You know, join in the cheering, but voice would fail him, maybe. Oh, thank you for the lovely like. So kind of you. Sorry, eyes are flicking now and then from what I'm writing to the chat, because I have a tendency to miss things, and I'd rather not miss chat, and just saw it go up. So thank you so much. Well, forgot to process who had scored. This is just a small thing, but Will also seems the sort of person who would use minimal contractions. I think they'll still be there now and then, just... Yeah, I think contractions will probably be there more often when, you know, he's harried or stressed. So at the moment, minimal contractions. I think I do that a fair amount. The magical mentor in my main magical project. How many times can you slot magical in one sentence and have it still work? Many times. But, yes, I hardly use contractions for her. It just makes more sense to me. She's very well spoken, very formal, very professional. So that works for her. And I think I also did that for an old countess / colonel in my shapeshifter story. And just rarely use contractions for her. I mean, she is very formal and well spoken as well, but for her it's sort of a matter of pride. She will speak properly, as opposed to Anne, where it just happens because of her personality. I don't think Anne would, you know, feel distressed if she started using contractions, whereas the countess definitely would. Oh dear, that's another difficult thing to convey. Oh dearie me, we forgot to process who had scored. Maybe don't hesitate turning, just... And yes, we're just assuming this is British adjacent, you know, 1920s to 40s roughly sort of era. And roughly the same sort of gender dynamics. So I doubt there would be any women allowed to play in this game, which is not good, but that is the setting that these words put me in. I suppose I don't need to stick with it. I could just change it to them and mix it up. Wonder if we should do that and just have it be ambiguous who we're talking about here. Well, for me, I always use slightly bigger vocabulary, but then throw in the slang. When I talk around people, I can be like that around. Yes, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that does make a lot of sense. It's also true for the vocabulary thing. I kind of like with Kaz, he uses a reasonably, you know, he doesn't use a lot of really sort of complicated or big words, but occasionally just one slips out, and, you know, it doesn't bother him at all. He doesn't think it's weird, but it's just because he hangs out with his very intelligent sister all the time, and just stuff rubs up on him occasionally, and he, you know, there's osmosis for a few terms that just come out completely naturally for him, and I think it just surprises some people who don't expect it. Oh dear, though I will admit I do slip in a couple of curse words when I talk, unfortunately. No, I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of at all. It's, well, I keep going back to Kaz as my example. Because, at one point, I'd been, you know, wondering whether I should try to make it more young adult as opposed to adult, because the story and the mood is very young adult, but having Kaz not curse just seems so disingenuous and unrealistic. Oh dear. But yeah, I think particularly around people you're comfortable with, I don't think there's any problem with the occasional curse word slipping. As long as we know what the words mean and we know how we're using them, and, you know, we're not using them in a way that'll hurt people. It's, yeah, I think pretty much all through school and uni and even further onwards, I barely swore, just because that's not something I did. But, yeah, I think mid-20s onwards I just started, you know, falling into it, and it became reasonably natural. I don't really do it very much anymore. I think having the small one got me out of it a bit, which is good. Oh, I never thought how much you can shape a character just by using the right forms of words in English. Who, what, versus whomst. Yes, I think it does have a fair impact. So I wonder if that's something. It's probably something editors are sort of trained to look for and think about. It's yeah, there's so many little things that can help. So many useful little things. You ain't, you all aren't. I like that one. It's not one I've heard of, but I like it. Oh, a silhouette danced with glee in the saddle. That will be them. Doopy-doop-boo. Goodness me. Is this just a thing that's going to keep happening? You know, half an hour, 40 minutes into Blue starting stream, she's suddenly starving. This is ridiculous. Oh well. How have I been going for 40 minutes already? I've done practically nothing. But this does resemble my usual writing sessions fairly closely. Yep. Sit for hours. Get one paragraph done. And Blue wonders why she gets nothing done. Yeah. We already rewrote this line, I think, and I quite like it. And this is where we were keeping the madly, because we do have to keep all of these words in these forms. Well, we can go past tense or whatever tense for the verbs, but has to stay adverb. Maybe just have the chanting the name. Jams. That's a little better. Ooh, keep the onomatopoeia as is. I'm not retyping it. We've already said that he's diminished eyesight here, so hopefully that gives some idea that his health's not great, and we'll go into it more later when he has trouble moving and he's got doctors, so we probably don't need to say weakened here, do we? So yes, I am doing my best to stick with Australian/British English in doing my shorts, just because I'm more familiar with it. And for whatever reason, I'm using American English for a whole lot of my novels. It's because it just seems to suit them better. When the Australian/British English suits the story better, I'll use that. But main magical project, yeah, American English makes sense. Oh dear. My high fantasies and such, possibly the shapeshifter one as well, which I suppose could almost count as high fantasy. Almost. In a vaguely steampunky setting. It's definitely not full on steampunk, it's just, steam trains are a recent thing. And cogs are in fashion a little bit, I guess. And clocks. But yes, those ones I'll probably use the British English. Oh dear. So I hope, given I'm writing so many words in American English in my novels, that I'm actually doing it correctly. Because I'm pretty sure it's not just some word spellings that are different. I'm sure there are some other rules and odd little things that I'm probably not aware of at all going on. Oh dear. Oh, I didn't know there was a difference between Australian and American English. I thought you just used different words. Toasties instead of grilled cheese. Lots of different words. Quite a few different spellings. Like, American English is colour. Australian and British English is colour with the U. And, what else is there? Sympathise versus sympathise. We use a lot of SEs instead of ZEs. So we read an awful lot of American literature here, and so most of us are pretty good at we can read American English fairly well and know what's going on. But when we write our own things or read Australian works, generally it's in the Australian British English. I'm sure there's so many other sort of things as well, but just not coming to mind. These are the big sort of ones. The ZE or SE and the OR, OUR. Oh yeah, just noticed you said Z instead of Z. Yeah. Well, the way the Wiggles sing the alphabet now is they say Z or Z at the end to cover all bases. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's not copyrighted, is it? I hope not. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, or Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Hey! I started throwing on the hey at the end randomly, and now the small one thinks that's how the song goes. Sorry, small one. Dialects of English got to be one of my favourite rabbit holes. Oh dear. Well, at least I have good old ProWritingAid to yell at me when I accidentally swap between American and British English. It can check for consistency. See, spelling consistency. This one yells at me if I use both US and UK English in the same document. And it says, don't. And Blue says, okay, thank you for telling me. Oh dear, now at 45 minutes with barely anything done. Yay. Was every muscle fiber tensed? Blasted. I think shot skyward sounds better than flew skyward. Was every muscle fiber tensed? Well, if you can't see the bomber straight away, the clouds have got to be more than wisps, don't they? So that doesn't make sense. Let's just make it thick. I suppose the weather's got to be pretty good if they're playing polo, doesn't it? Skate shot skyward, raking the... just make them fluffy clouds. Just, you know, perfect sunny day with fluffy white clouds, and suddenly we've got these bombers going overhead, so... fluffy there. Well, he is technically military, so something like cloud cover might work better. Fluffy again. What are those clouds called? Because if he's mathsy, he might be scientific-y as well and just know all these terms. What are the big fluffy white clouds called? Proper name, fluffy white clouds. Types of cloud. Cumulus. Cumulus. Yes, thank you, Mickey. I think you popped it up in the chat the instant I looked it up. Thank you so much. Cumulus, they're the ones. What's the really stormy ones? I know cirrus is another type of cloud. I'm not sure if that's the stormy ones. I've forgotten my cloud science. But yes, actually using the term cumulus I think will work for Will. Cumulus. Is there a plural for that? Let's see. Plural for cumulus. Cumuli. Cumuli. Will people just reading this know what that means? I mean, every now and then it is fine, I think, to use words, you know, some people wouldn't be aware of, but I don't like the idea of people having to look up too much while they're reading. Cumulus, that's the plural. Oh, there's also cumulonimbi and cirrostrati, but don't ask me which is which. Okay, I won't, I promise. I will not ask you that. Oh, if we make it each fluffy white cumulus, that might make a bit more sense to people reading. I'm hoping that most people reading it will see cumulus and just make the connection and remember cloud. Cloud. Clouds have names. This is one of them. They're like edged or highlighted. Guilt. It's kind of pretty, but that kind of makes it sound like it's the whole thing and not just the edge, so keep it edged for now. I've already used the word trace, which could also work. His gaze shot skyward, raking the cloud cover, each fluffy white cumulus edged in brilliant sunlight. Oh, I love looking at a sky sometimes. I sometimes imagine myself running through the clouds as if I could touch them. That's lovely. They always look so soft and cuddly, don't they? They do, they do. The small one has started occasionally spotting shapes in the clouds and telling me, which is always nice. I usually just see sheep. Lots of sheep. Oh, and I do love when you're in a plane and you're above the clouds and looking down, it's just the fields of clouds with the sun overhead, or the moon for that matter, and it's just very otherworldly, but somehow in a comforting way as well. Also, those lens-shaped ones, or like the scale ones. Is that what you mean? But in Polish, they are literally named lens-like clouds, if I remember correctly, and it doesn't sound too Latin basis. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking of those, yeah, like the funny ones, like fish scales in the sky. I think I'm making the connection there, but maybe not. But those clouds, are those ones stormy related? Just remember, just seeing a sky full of them one time, and I was, wow, that's pretty. A bit ominous, but pretty. Oh, dearie me. Dearie, 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 dearie. Oh, just checked. Altocumulus lenticularis. Goodness me. That one is very Latin-y. So very Latin-y. The source of the propellers. Does that sound okay? The source of the propellers. Sorry, that's probably unnecessary, but I think it sounds, yeah, that's fine. I like the contrast between the bombers and the fluff. Oh, how can he see the sky really well on the on the patio? I imagine there's some sort of roof overhead, so maybe he's got to sort of get upright and stagger to the edge to see. I don't know. Oh, I don't like the ones that swirl and touch the ground. Those make me a little nervous. You see them once in a while here. There's a fair amount the sky can do that can elicit those sort of nervous reactions. It's the sky needs to be respected, much as the ocean, and, you know, pretty much everything out in nature. It's, yeah, to be enjoyed, to be appreciated, and to be respected. Oh, dearie me. I think I feel that way a little bit, well, particularly about the ocean. You know, you gotta respect the ocean and everything in it. You know, you can't blame, really, an ocean predator for behaving like an ocean predator. Just like you can't blame a land predator for behaving like a land predator. It's, you know, it's their territory. Like, I'm not saying, you know, we shouldn't swim or do things in the ocean, but, you know, gotta know what the consequences could be. Ugh, that's getting a bit morbid. Sorry about that. Work. Source of the propellers soon cut through the fluff. Well, I suppose they could be lower in the sky. But he is on the patio. Do all patios have roof cover? I'm not sure. Now that I've thought about that, that's going to annoy me, but maybe we'll just keep it as is for now, and if it keeps annoying me, I'll come back and try to adjust it. So he is military. He only would have been in the military for a little while, but he would have gone through officers training. So would his reaction be to stand up and go to try to get the best view. Or at least to try to. I don't know. I think I prefer that he can just see from where he is. I'm sorry if that's lazy, but we gotta keep moving. If anyone has any thoughts on this, please let me know. That needs its new. For emphasis. Northward. North or northward? And in case we didn't already figure out, they were very, very aristocratic. A state should do it. Okay, we have to keep high pitched because that's one of our words, I think. Yep, there it is. Okay. How do we use high pitched well? Him. I want to say something about the gasp and then, you know, describe it as, you know, breathy and high pitched or something. Should it be a gasp or a cry? Cry might work better. Oh, and and now our words are backed by nuclear weapons, Lottie said with her fist high up in the air. Yeah, hello, Blue. Hello, Neko Heiko. No nuclear weapons here. At least, not that Blue is aware of. And Lottie's carrying the tea tray. Lottie's on the tea tray. Oh, dear. Can't really talk about her fingers yet. It's Sorry. Good to see you, Neko Heiko. I hope you're doing well. I am musing, because clearly we have not gotten hugely far, have we? Slow and steady. Behind him, a high-pitched cry and a rattle of... a rattle. betray should come first. Lost concentration there for a bit. Pulled sounds too soft. Ripped sounds too dragged. That might work. Oh, we had have fun. Don't sweat unless you have a deadline, then you can sweat it. No deadline. I just worry that it gets boring if we work on the same story more than twice. Still haven't written any. Oh, thank you for the lovely like. Thank you so much. I still haven't written any sort of new shorties lately, so we may wind up working on a few old ones again. Because I think it is a good thing. It's a good thing to do. I do enjoy doing it. I suppose I should just, you know, what's the term? Bite the bullet, hurl myself in the deep end, whatever, and just start trying to write from scratch with you. I'm just very anxious. I shouldn't be. I was trying to write a novel from scratch during the NaNoWriMo streams. That's the first time I'd ever streamed. Oh, another lovely like. Thank you so much. Oh dear. I promise I'm not fishing for likes. I've just started noticing. Oh, and another one. Thank you. I've just started not really, you know, paying attention. It's on my streaming software. It says at the top how many people are watching and how many likes there are. And it used to be I just sort of flicked from what I'm doing to the chat, but now my eyes flick upwards as well, and so I can see that. It's like a triangulation check. Don't know if you can actually see Blue doing it, but yeah, I was overdoing it then. But watch the eyes. The eyes may do the flick every now and then. Ooh, we can always take a break from writing a page or two of something else if you're worried it gets boring, unless it'll make you lose concentration to do what's best for you. I don't think it'd make me lose concentration. It's more just concerned that I'm making boring content. Yeah, I mean, there will be the option, hopefully soonish, of starting to, when I say soonish, the next 6 months maybe, of trying to work on short stories for my story cycle once I eventually start posting them. I'm just in so many different minds about whether to use a site like Wattpad or Inkit or something, or whether to just put them on my own website. My distrust for companies has just been billowing so much lately, and Wattpad and all of them, they count. They count as big companies, so I just don't know. Oh, you guys will rue the day when she rebrands to Sun Metal Red and plays held over to spread managed democracy. And she will dye her hair black and have black and red on her outfit instead of blue and white. So, do we already need, what's the term? An alt blue, an evil blue. What's the term? Doesn't have to be evil. Just the other form. The other form. Well, if that's something people would be interested to see, I could always try to commission some alt blue art, but Blue doesn't have very much art yet because she's not actually very good at sort of knowing what art she wants. You know, poses or outfits or ideas. I'm not very good at that, so that's not very useful for artists. I mean, I'd much prefer to just sort of give them the art that I've got, just so they know what Blue looks like, and maybe a feeling or an event or something, and say, have at it. But I think most artists might prefer a little more direction. Because they are very, very busy people. They need all the details they can get. Oh, that's right, I was meaning to try out, what's it called? Skeb at one point. But again, anxiety about approaching people. Oh dear, did everyone see Elfie's lovely art of blue? It's the first non-commissioned art of blue I've ever seen, and it's wonderful. I put it in my community notes if anyone wants to have a look. It's really sweet, and I adore it. Dragged is the best word to use here. Yes, you saw it. Wonderful, wonderful. And yeah, there's just something about art done of, well, Blue's not exactly a character, she is me, but art done of characters, it's just so special and such a wonderful thing that people do. I mean, people are so busy with everything, but they take time to, express their appreciation by working on things like art and stories. It's just wonderful. I suppose that's why I don't understand how some traditionally published authors can have such a low opinion of fan fiction. Fan fiction is wonderful. It's like the highest possible compliment. Just, I don't know. Who was the author who really doesn't like fan fiction? It might have been Robin Hobb. I don't want to, what's the term? Cast any aspersions? What is an aspersion? I don't want to say anything negative about the author when I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might have been Robin Hobb, and I'm sure there's more out there who don't like fan fiction, but I think it's just wonderful. And I'm hanging out for the first fan fiction for my main magical project because I will be devouring it. Oh, in Polish we call the full moon in October Hooray. I want to say this correctly now. I'm never going to get it, am I? Kwari Kszik. I'm so sorry I've butchered that. Bloody moon. That would fit the full moon theme from Blue to Blood. Oh, that would be a big surprise. From Blue to Blood is a very good tagline. Oh, if you're into writing stories, maybe just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as a potential tagline for something for you. Oh dear, from Blue to Blood. That's intense. That's intense. But the big question is, what color would my tie be? If I'm going from if my blues become reds and possibly my greys, it'll be my whites that becomes black. My greys may stay greys. But what color would my tie become? That's the important question. Possibly silver? Oh no, it couldn't be silver. It'd have to be gold, wouldn't it, if I'm sun metal red? Gold then. So gold tie, red blues, grey greys, black whites. And the feathers would probably go gold as well. Pink to light blue. Or maybe just for the touch of blue remaining. That could work. I don't know what the opposite of pink. Well, I think to work with the colour scheme maybe of the so-called sun metal red, I think we might have to go gold. That's a gold tie. Like a Wisconsin sunrise. Sorry, I'm movie quoting. That's that thing you do. I love that film. I tried to show it to a few people one time when I lived in Japan, and I don't think they really enjoyed it very much. I think because the same song gets repeated a lot, they found that a little tedious, but I just think it gets better each time. But that is only Blue's opinion. I still think it's a fantastic movie. Oh dear. That was That Thing You Do, if I mumbled before. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it. It's lots of fun. It's, based around a fictitious one-hit wonder band in the 60s. I enjoy it. What year was it made? 96, maybe? I think it was maybe made in 96. I've got to look it up now. That Thing You Do. Here made. 96. Got it. Why do I remember useless things? Oh dear. Behind him, porcelain rattled against silver, and Lottie's high-pitched cry dragged Will's attention from the sky. Maybe he should, maybe not beside him. Maybe he can sort of reach out a hand fast enough to sort of steady the tea tray before something fell off. And I've got her nearly losing the tea tray and then clutching her apron. Clutching her apron with what hand? Come on, past blue, pay attention. Dear. Sorry. I should give past blue a little bit more slack. She was not a great writer. God, I almost said yet. She was not a great writer. We do not know whether current blue is a very good writer, but she's definitely meticulous. Beside him, porcelain rattled against silver, and Lottie's high-pitched cry dragged Will's attention from the sky. I keep wanting to say shot out a hand, but that doesn't quite work. His hand wouldn't be steady, but it would be... That actually is a problem, wouldn't it? His hand probably wouldn't be steady. So I don't know how much it'd actually help steadying the tea tray. Beside him, porcelain rattled against silver, and Lottie's high-pitched cry dragged Will's attention from the sky. Doesn't sound right. I don't know. Leave as is for now. ProWritingAid will probably have some suggestions for us. It always does. That's the idea, I suppose. Dragged Will's attention from the sky. Maybe he goes to automatically sort of help steady, but then sort of thinks better of it, seeing how his hand's shaking, and then just, you know, recommends she puts it down, or hopes that she puts it down before she loses it. Oh, he steadily steadied before steadying what he thought was steady and didn't turn out to be steady at all. Steady there. How many steadies have I got in here? Beside him, porcelain rattled against silver, and Lottie's high-pitched cry dragged Will's attention from the sky. One hand automatically raised to steady the tea tray that shook in her hands halfway there. Will thought better of it. I've only used steady once, haven't I? steadily steadied. I swear I'm not making fun of you. You're allowed to make fun of Blue, it's pretty funny. Blue can appreciate it when she's being made fun of. Blue mostly finds it funny. Mostly, at this point. If at any point she doesn't find it funny, she'll do her best to let you know. But at this point, it's very funny. Go ahead and make fun of her. But I did only use it the once, didn't I? Ooh, now that she set her tray down, she can clutch her apron now. Now. Blue so hungry. I'll probably just cook some chips. Some fries, sorry. Chips, fries. Chips, fries. We'll cook some when I'm finished. In the air fryer. Because Blue uses air fryers. Blue is a fan of her air fryer. It probably needs a bit of a clean. But, you know, extra flavor. Wow, in the air fryer. I like my air fryer. It is a useful thing. I think some people have giggled at me and said it's just an oven. It's like, yes, it's an oven, but it's a really good oven for cooking chips. And, you know, other freezer items. They just come out, you know, crunchier and nicer and less likely to get burnt, so I like it. As it reminds me of the dishwasher, and they come out tasting bad. I don't know why. I mean, you throw your chips in the dishwasher, or you throw your air fryer parts in the dishwasher, or... Well, Blue does not have a dishwasher to throw either chips or air fryer parts in. In fact, I've got one side of the sink full of stuff soaking and waiting for me to wash it, and I'm probably going to leave it there all night. The chips. Yes, I'm not sure chips should be cooked in a dishwasher. That may have been bad advice, and you should question whoever gave you that advice. Yes, would definitely recommend cooking chips in an air fryer over a dishwasher. Oh dear. It's a thought for a very, very random stream sometime in the future. Blue used to fiddle around with music composition. She still hears lots of melodies in her head and sings them into the microphone in her phone just so they're there if she ever needs them. If she can ever face, listening through all of them to find the ones that she needs. But, yeah, I wrote a few piano pieces when I was much younger. There's a few pretty tunes in there. That's probably, all I can play on piano anymore is my own silly tunes. So maybe one time can try to play a few of them for you. That might be fun. There was a grey cat that hops over into our yard. Last time it brought a dead rat that was stiff and I had to throw it away. Ugh. Oh dearie me. Haven't seen any dead rats around here lately. Lots of dead wallabies, wombats, echidnas, possums, all of them. Side of the road. This is like roadkill capital where I live. It's not great. I'm kind of getting used to it now, but it's still very unpleasant when we go on, drives into the city and it's just all along the side of the road. It's like you can't go 100 meters without another poor dead creature. I don't know, just... I know the safety advice is if a creature comes in front of you, you just have to hit it. You can't swerve, it's not safe. You could hit another car or not, but it's with the amount along the road, you got to wonder if some people try to hit them. I don't know. Will couldn't make out the symbols emblazoned on their rudders. Oh, excuse me, sorry. So I'm guessing Will is not Air Force. Because if he was Air Force, he'd be able to identify them. I'm guessing he's Army. Will couldn't make out the symbols emblazoned on their rudders. He tried comparing planes with... Will couldn't make out the symbols emblazoned on their rudders. He tried comparing the planes with pictures of enemy crafts he remembered from the papers. I think contractions are okay here because they're still a bit, this is a stressful situation. Suddenly need a collective noun for grim gazers. Just say a dozen. Just as a middle click. say something about the... I originally said here the shadowed field, but say specifically, you know, the leading into the shadows of the bombers on the field. Out on the field, the polar game had stalled. About, you know, the shadows of the bombers bring a damper on the merriment, or something like that. Doesn't grim gazes turn to the sky? That'll do. It's not great, but what about the atmosphere diminished in the shadows? Oh, yes, something along those. I think I just wanted to lean into a word like, I don't know why I lean towards drenched, but the atmosphere diminished in the shadows. Maybe instead of bombers, just something a bit starker and more abstract. Not certain death, but not great, but dark. And yes, Blue is very distracted by how hungry she is. I should just have a snack with me, but I don't want to be, you know, like crunching on things into the microphone. Blue does not do those kind of streams. Oh, dearie me. Stretching. Oh, and yawning. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Dear. think maybe we should have, a slightly bitter sort of comment from Will here about, well, weaker sort of thing. Or just, did I have the I and the E in the wrong way? No, I didn't. I did not. That was silly of me. But I'll leave it like that for now. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Weak with relief. Not that that made much difference. Difference to... But the bombers flew on, taking their haunting shadows with them. Thank God. Weak with relief. Try something else. Yeah. Sort of, I guess we're going for almost good-natured bitterness, something along those lines. I still want the praying that hear of no raids on the news. passive. Bit of passive's okay. I try to use as little of it as possible, but sometimes it just works well. This can just be one sentence though, can't it? Here. I'm probably only gonna go for another 20 minutes or so I can, eat and sleep. Oh, I just spilled baby powder on my bed sheets. Oh no, that's a mess. I hope it doesn't take you too long to clean it up. Oh dear. Excuse me. Quick, that's why I have quickest. That's one of our words, isn't it? Yeah. So maybe we can just say, as well as being the top goal scorer, he's also the quickest. Also maybe I need to indicate earlier that lunch had arrived. That's right. Instead of tea tray, lunch tray. Or sandwich tray. That makes a bit more sense. Assuming we can remember sandwiches from several paragraphs back. Maybe okay. Wondering whether to put some sort of comment up here. Of course it was James, just indicating he's one of the best there. I don't know, if you need to eat and rest, don't repeat my mistake of staying up until 4 a.m. so I can finish the gas telekinesis story. I'm sorry, I'm keeping you awake with my silly stream thoughts, but I hope you've been enjoying writing it. I hope you have. Oh, that's a good point. Thank you so much for reminding me. If anyone is still working on their gas telekinesis stories, make sure to post it somewhere. I'll find it and draw it to my attention, whether that's using the hashtag we've talked about or popping a comment on a VOD. And if you could please do that with I'll need a bit of time pre-stream to sort of gather them all and make sure I sort of know what I'm doing and know where I'm heading for next, just so there is as little scuff as possible. I know a bit of scuff can be charming, but we don't really want Blue panicking, unable to sort of find the stories while she's trying to stream. But thank you, I'm so glad you've written one. It's so lovely. Oh dear, but no, I won't be staying up till 4. Don't worry. It's I probably can't do what I did last stream, which was a few lovely people came by a little late, and I didn't want to stop streaming. I wanted to make sure make sure everyone got a bit of streaming. But yeah, I should probably stop soon. Well, I suppose I can kind of understand why I'm hungry tonight. Had pancakes for dinner because the small one asked for pancakes for dinner. I'm like, why not? I'm sure pancakes are a very, very healthy, good meal for dinner. She liked them at least. So yes, I should probably eat something more substantial. Like French fries. Blue is so healthy, a beacon of good health. Here we are. Nobody thinks they would be bored with this if we wound up spreading this story onto a third session. Band bakes, I love band bakes. Did I say band bakes? Sorry, I'm probably mumbling. Pancakes. I do like pancakes. Normally if I'm... No, you didn't. I didn't. Oh, good, bad, yes. Oh dear. To admit it was a nice break from my main project, and it'll be nice to see the contrast in how I write without rush, with little rush and major rush. I suppose that is an interesting thing to try to gauge for yourself, isn't it? You know, is a little pressure sometimes good? I really don't know. Pressure can force things to get done, but it can't always force things to get done well. But then again, some people just thrive under pressure and just create amazing things on ridiculous deadlines. And I'm just like, how? Why? Oh, I'm very much looking forward to reading it now. I am. Probably tomorrow I'll start trying to look at the hashtag, and I'll check comments and try to start gathering any stories that might be about. Oh no, another yawn. Oh, excuse me. Well, my model really does look like it's yawning, doesn't it? Oh. Here we are. I wonder if it'll get a little easier as we have sort of more conversation. Well, the word count's definitely going up, but that's to be expected. I forgot a water bottle. It's okay. I'm going to keep going for a little while. Okay, so if we do spread this onto a third stream, I'll probably just probably have to be one next week, maybe Thursday again next week or something, just so we have a bit of downtime, I guess. Oh dear. I suppose it doesn't really matter if I don't get a whole story done each time we do this. It's, you know, again, no timeline, only what I impose on myself, and it's not like I'm rushing to make the audiobook style videos, am I? How long have I been promising those now? I thought about trying to work on the first one today, but I wound up working on Main Magical Project instead, which will probably always take priority, unless I just can't face it, in which case we'll try something else. But I think a bit of my general illness feelings are starting to fade a little bit, I say with hope. So with any luck, I'll be feeling much better soon. We will see. To change too much here. For some reason I think I want to say tropical fever more than virus. I'm not quite sure why. It just feels better, I guess. Though virus does sound sort of more technical, which would make more sense with Will. Don't know whether it'd be a flight home yet. I'm not sure if there's much in the way of commercial flights. I suppose emergency flights maybe, but I think it's more likely to have him on a ship with lots of doctors and stuff. Hello, finally a woman. Hello, Master. Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you. I am just trying to write with varying levels of success this evening. It's I suppose it could be going a lot worse. Could be going a lot worse. Oh dear. He was alive at least. Most soldiers who contracted tropical viruses died within a week. Will had his status as an officer and his family's wealth to thank for the swift response to his illness. A timely ship home. That works. I think that works with Will's voice, doesn't it? Cheer, Chief. And that, I got a few things right in the old version so far as Will's voice is concerned. But it's in this next paragraph. I think we try to sneak a few of our random words in there. That's where the random clock-making stuff comes up. I just worry it seems too random, but friends chat about random stuff all the time. Anything could crop up, and plus there's that awful pun. But so far, Will doesn't seem a very punny person. Maybe that's just something that comes out with his friends, like with James. I just feel like I need to make more sort of reference to the pun and what's going on there. This part's gone a lot quicker, hasn't it? That's something. Nasty fright those bombers give, eh? How's the patient? James was the quickest of his friends. And odd no comma there. James was the quickest of his friends and had the finest nose for lunch. He was the first to arrive on the patio, sitting up on the arm of Will's chair as he snagged a cucumber sandwich. Will shrugged. His shoulders were far bonier than they used to be. Fine, I suppose. He was alive at least. Most soldiers who contracted tropical viruses died within a week. Will had his status as an officer and his family's wealth to thank for the swift response to his illness and a timely ship home. Boredom is my chief complaint. I don't think that's too bad. Remember, if anyone has any thoughts, feel very free to let me know. Blue is always on an adventure to improve her writing because, goodness me, most of the time it probably needs it. Like right here. Why would I use declared? Declared, bad word. Bad word. Said. Said, say, ask, asked. There's nothing wrong with a few different dialogue tags, but this one does not work here. Does not. Nope. Nope, nope. Do we have him being gentlemanly with Lottie and take the next tray? I suppose James strikes me as a bit of a, a chivalrous gentleman, perhaps. Just a bit of a, maybe slightly, not quite slightly sarcastic, just slightly long-suffering, maybe? I suppose we don't really need to make this comparison here because I think we've had enough references throughout now to Will's being ill, and we already know Lottie's upset, and maybe does this sort of infer Lottie being upset too? I suppose not necessarily, does it? Ever the gentleman, James took Lottie's next platter, cold meats and cheeses, and made room on the low table. Maybe if we just add another word there just to remind us that she's still upset. Let's just throw in a bit more of some Aristotic snobbery, maybe. Just for fun. Now we have gentleman twice in the one paragraph, so maybe... think there's enough contextualization that the reader can guess how the characters are feeling. Oh, I hope so. I'm never sure about these sorts of things. I suppose that's why feedback's such an important thing. I guess I'm hoping people can sort of sense how the characters can feel from the context, but I suppose as well some people might, some people might not, some people might get different ideas than I might have intended. It's, everything's in the audience interpretation, I guess. I mean, the author can have intent. But if that's not what's interpreted, then clearly they didn't do their job. I know this just seems a bit sudden after this. At least in my opinion, there can be such things too descriptive. Definitely there can be too descriptive. It's something I do like to do is, you know, just have enough description. Sometimes I go a bit more all out if I really want to, but I like to leave what I can to the audience's imagination. You know, again, sometimes I go a bit more all out just because it's fun and it's pretty and it can sort of, you know, help with the mood a little bit maybe. But if there's no need for it, it shouldn't be there. This makes a bit more sense, I think. Yourself twice in a row. Nope. There should be a maths reference here. I know it's cluttery, but this is how they'd speak. This is how they'd speak, so it's okay. Might just try to get up to the pun, and then I might stop for the night and cook some chips / French fries. What's that? In the dishwasher, I will not be cooking the chips / French fries in the dishwasher. I have not a dishwasher in which to cook them. I have the air fryer. The air fryer will do. I'm sure they will emerge far crispier from the air fryer than they would from any dishwasher, however fantastic that dishwasher may be. Oh dear. Probably be some sort of reference to that doesn't even require him to leave the armchair or something. Should we have Will being a little petulant here, maybe? You know. Something like, you know, I thought that's why you were here, to amuse me. We do need the clock carving stuff because we need the craftsman. And, you know, I kind of want Will to make the stupid pun. There's no E there, is there? Is that one word? Oh, one word, sure. That'll do. That'll do. Okay, so we are up to here. So how are we doing? I think we're probably roughly halfway through. There's a fair amount of dialogue in the second half, so it looks longer. Okay. So, yes, I would have preferred to get further, but not so bad. Not so bad. And we might try to keep going next Thursday. Next Thursday, maybe. So we can have a short break. A short break from Will and my trying to shape his voice and personality in a short story. Nag. I think we're doing okay in that respect. Oh dear. Okay. Have I saved? I have not. Save. We are now saved. This is good. Okay. So I should probably do my best not to ramble. Not to ramble too much tonight and just and cook my snack and go to bed, given the number of times I almost accidentally fell asleep today. Oh, goodness me. Thank you so much for writing with me. I'm sorry we didn't get particularly far, but we were on track for that from the beginning. We knew what we were getting into. We knew what was going on. And we are making progress. We are. I'm guessing we only got through those earlier ones so quickly was because I had written them quite recently. So they were already sort of in my style. And I didn't have, you know, all of the bad habits that I had back when I wrote this. I've got different bad habits now, but I can generally catch them fairly quickly. Yep, it was fun anyway. I'm glad. I'm glad. Oh, dearie me. I will get better at this one day. And I'm still thinking I should, in the nearest future, just plunge in and try to write from scratch. At least then I'll have an excuse for it to stretch over 2 or 3 streams. Okay. One more reminder. one more reminder about Saturday's stream. For anyone who has written a story they would love to share and they'd love for me to read on the stream, make sure I can find it. Make sure I can find it well before the stream starts, so Blue can get herself organized. I am very much looking forward to reading them, and I'm so glad some people have written them. I suppose, yes, this is an experiment, and I was unsure how it would go. So I'm glad it seems to be going well. I think maybe for the next time we do this, we'll still do a brainstorming stream, but I think we'll have it so it's optional to use the brainstorming stream to write the story, and maybe we'll just wait for some stories to accumulate before announcing when another MacGuffin Stories reading stream will be. And yeah, just write about anything. You can use the most recent brainstorming stream or an older one if you weren't around for that one and you like stuff that came up in that one, or any of your own ideas. I think it's just, sharing your work, sharing your ideas, and we can all have some fun reading them together. Yeah, I think we've just got to make it more casual, maybe. Make it more casual, fewer deadlines. I mean, I know deadlines can help for getting things done, but if it just becomes, wait for some stories to accumulate and then we'll do a reading stream. Hoping people will just pop things up when they're ready. Oh dear. I should stop rambling now, but I will, I'll try tomorrow to pop one more community post reminder about Saturday's stream. I'm very much looking forward to it. I haven't made the thumbnail yet. I think I'll have to keep it simple. Not that I've ever made a particularly good and or complicated thumbnail. Not my skill set, if I have a skill set. Does Blue have a skill set? I suppose we'd go with writing, maybe. Blue hopes. In any case, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with me this evening and working on the pitchfork story. We still haven't gotten to the actual pitchfork. We'll get there. We'll get there. Thank you again. And wherever you are in the world, good night to you. Good afternoon. Good evening. Swap those. Or good morning. And I hope the rest of your day is absolutely lovely. Well, it was a cozy stream today. Have a nice time, everyone. Can't wait for Saturday. Wonderful. I'm glad you're all looking forward to it too. And I'm glad it was a nice cozy time. I'm never sure if I'm accidentally sort of imparting my stress onto you guys. And if I ever am, let me know and I'll try to work on it. Work on not doing it, that is. Your skill is using an air fryer. I can work that air fryer. I know my way around an air fryer. I do. I do. And I hope the rest of your days are absolutely lovely, because that's what you deserve. And let us sing our goodbyes. I was prepared this evening and looked up my lyrics in advance. Of all the money that e'er I had, I have spent it in good company. Oh, and all the harm I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be to you all. Until next time. Bye bye. Bye bye.